What's up guys? In today's video we're going to be ranking the finals of the past 20 World Championships. We're going to be doing this on tier lists, so if you want to play along while we go through it, link in the description below, go and have a play. I'd love to see your guys' tier list as well on this because it's going to be a little bit interesting. So I'll go through every single match, I'll go through a little bit of information about the match averages if there was anything in particular that stood out, and yeah, let's get into this. If you do end up playing along, please take a screenshot and tag me on Instagram or Twitter because I'd love to see what your lists look like. So here we go, 20 tier lists from 2001 to 2020. Let's see how we get on. The tiers that we've got is amazing, good, okay, and boring. Now, obviously, World Championships aren't going to be boring, and I'd just like to point out that in 2001, I was 8. So if you guys are older than me, or if you guys have seen the matches more recently than I would have done, then you may have some different opinions on these matches. But 2001, Phil Taylor versus John Part. Now, this finished 7-0 to Phil Taylor. Phil averaged 107.46, John averaged 92.58, and they had a combined average of 100.02. I think that's gonna have to go. I feel like John lets the team down a bit on that match. We're gonna put that one in good though, because the averages was really high, and yeah, it is Phil Taylor. So yeah, good. 2002, Phil Taylor versus Peter Manley, another 7-0 victory for Phil Taylor. The averages in this one were 98.47 for Phil Taylor and 91.35 with a combined average of 94.91. I'm going to have to put this one in okay. The stats aren't quite there. And a 98 average from Phil Taylor it's good darts, but it's not Phil Taylor darts. Next up, 2003, John Part versus Phil Taylor. John Part won this one 7-6 with a 96.87 average, and Phil Taylor had a 99.98 average. I feel like this is easily good. Easily good, maybe amazing, because I have very fond memories of this world title. So I might end up moving that one up. But anyway, let's move on to the next one. 2004, Phil Taylor versus Kevin Painter. Phil Taylor won this one at 7-6. He averaged 96.03, and Kev averaged 90.48. Now, I feel like average-wise, this might even deserve a boring spot, but I'm going to put it in okay because the match was a good match, and it was kind of like, it was almost like the hero versus the villain, and Kev Painter had darts to win this match as well, which would have been insane. So I'll put it in the okay match. You guys might put it lower, you might put it higher even, but yeah. Anyway, 2005, this was Phil Taylor versus Mark Dudbridge. Phil Taylor averaged 96.14, Mark Dudbridge averaged 90.66, combined average of 93.4. Sorry boys, I'm putting this one in boring. It just doesn't really stand out to me as a. I remember watching it as well. I would have been 12. I remember watching this match, thinking I don't know who Mark Dudbridge is. But I'm gonna have to put this one in boring. I'm sorry guys, I do apologise. 2006, Phil Taylor versus Peter Manley. Again, this one ended in a 7-0 victory to Phil Taylor. Phil averaged 106.74 in this match. Peter Manley only 91.72. 99 overall average though. We'll put this in okay. We'll put this in. We'll put it in good. We'll put it in good. We'll put it in good. Just because Phil Taylor averaged nearly 107. 2007, Raymond Van Barneveld versus Phil Taylor. Before I even tell you what the averages are in this, I'm going to put this one in amazing. This is one of the most classic. This is one of the biggest darts matches in literally darts history. This has to go in amazing. Raymond Van Barneveld won this one 7-6. He averaged 100.55 and Phil averaged 100.86. So I feel like this has to go in the amazing spot. It's one of the best. It'll probably stay in #1 spot. It's one of the best finals ever. So if you haven't watched that one, go and give that one a watch. It is worth watching. 2008, John Part versus Kirk Shepard. I'm terribly sorry. I think I'm going to have to put this one in boring. I think if Kirk had won this, it would go higher. But it wasn't the greatest final. It wasn't the greatest final. The score was 7-2 to John Part. John averaged 92.86. Kirk Shepard averaged 85.10 with a combined average of 88.98, which was the lowest combined average of any of these matches. So unfortunately, John Part, you're going to have to go in the boring section. This was also the lowest winning average, and this was also the lowest losing average as well. So, not great. 2009, Phil Taylor versus Raymond Van Barneveld. This match finished 7-1 to Phil Taylor. This was a good game. I'm going to have to put this... I feel like this has to go in amazing, just because of how high standard the game was. Phil averaged 100, nearly 111, 110.94. Ray averaged 101.81. This was the highest winning average in all of these matches as well. And yeah, they had a combined average of just over 106. So I feel like this deserves the amazing spot. Number 10, Phil Taylor versus Simon Whitlock. I'm going to put this one in good. I'll put it up here somewhere. I'll probably put it behind. I'll put it in front of the Phil Taylor one against Peter Manley, but put it behind the John Part win. So that one's going in good. Stats for this match: Phil Taylor averaged 104.38. Simon Whitlock averaged 100.51. It was a good tournament because I believe this was the year that Whitlock had come over to the PDC and he'd just come runner-up in the BDO the year before against Mark Webster, I think, and then he come over to the PDC and he'd done the exact same thing. So this was a good final. It was a good tournament all in general as well, but good final. Definitely deserves at least a good spot. 2011, Adrian Lewis versus Gary Anderson. This one is easy. This goes in my number 2 spot in amazing behind the 2007 one. This was when Adrian Lewis hit the 9-darter as well. This was Adrian Lewis's first World Championship. He hit a 9-darter in the final. It was one of my greatest sporting memories. Watching this match, I remember watching this with my brother playing darts, and we just went mental when he hit a 9-darter. And yeah, amazing, easy, amazing. You could potentially argue that this goes above Phil and Barney, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave it at number 2. Stats for this match were 99.40 average for Adrian Lewis, who won 7-5. By the way, Gary Hansen 99.41. The average is not that high in comparison to the other matches, but in my opinion, it was one of the greatest, so I'm going to have to put it up there. Statistics-wise, not as much, but just watching it, it was amazing. Next up, number 12, 2012, Adrian Lewis wins against Andy Hamilton. He beat Andy 7-3. Oh, I feel bad doing this, but I kind of feel I have to. It's getting boring. Adrian Lewis, my favourite player of all time, but he had one final against Gary Anderson, which was insane, and then the next year, again, the Andy Hamilton final wasn't that good. I wasn't that invested in it. Adrian Lewis averaged 93.06 and Andy Hamilton 90.83. The second lowest combined average of all of these matches behind the John Part Kirk Shepard match. So I'm going to have to put it down here. I'll put it above. I think I'll put it above Phil Taylor and Mark Durbridge and John Part and Kirk Shepard. But that, yeah, boring. Sorry lads. Gonna have to go in the boring section. 2013, Phil Taylor versus Michael Van Gaal in Michael Van Gaalin's first ever world final. Statistics in this one: Phil averaged 103.04 in a 7-4 victory over Michael Van Gaalin, who averaged 100.66. This one at least deserves good. I'm going to put this one... Oh, I'm going to have to put this one down here. You know what? I'm going to switch these over. I don't feel right having the John Part win below the Phil Taylor win. So I'm going to put this one in good, in the middle of good. I think that's a pretty decent place to put it. 2014, Michael Van Gaal versus Peter Wright. Michael Van Gaal gets his first world title. In this match, Michael Van Gaal averaged 100.1 in a 7-4 victory over Peter Wright. You know what? I might even put this one in okay. I can't put it in okay, can I? Not Michael Van Gaalin's first title. I'm going to put this in good. I'm going to put this here. So below the Phil Taylor Whitlock match, but higher than the Phil Taylor Peter Manley match. So that one's going in good. Next up, we've got Gary Anderson versus Phil Taylor 2015. Gary averaged 97.868 in a 7-6 victory over Phil Taylor, who averaged 100.69. This one's going to have to go in good. I can't put it in amazing. I can't put it in okay. We'll put it in good. I'll put this one here. Above Phil Taylor Whitlock, lower than Phil Taylor Michael Van Gaalin. I think that's a fair place for it. 2016, Gary Anderson versus Adrian Lewis. Gary averaged 99.26 in a 7-5 victory over Adrian Lewis, who averaged 100.23. That's kind of on the same. I feel like his finals would just go next door to each other. They're very, very similar 2 back-to-back. Maybe he should get the better rank for the most recent one. I'm going to put it there. Yeah, it was good. It was good. I enjoyed watching it. Adrian is this fan, so I wanted Adrian to win that one as well. But yeah, I love Gary as well, so it was a win-win. 2017, Michael Van Gaal versus Gary Anderson. So 107.79 average for Michael Van Gaal, who beat Gary Anderson 7-3. Gary averaged 104.93. This one has to go in amazing. This was one hell of a final. Yeah, 106.36 average. This had the highest combined average. This also had the highest losing average of all the matches in this. So I feel like this deserves the amazing spot. Might even put this one above. Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna put this number 3. So Phil Taylor versus Raymond Van Barneveld goes to number 4. Next up, Rob Cross versus Phil Taylor 2018. Rob Cross averaged 107.67 to beat Phil Taylor 7-2, who averaged 102.26. Yeah, nearly 105 average combined. So for me, this one goes next to this one. This one goes in amazing. Rob Cross. I think the story, you know what, for story's sake, we'll put Rob Cross above Michael Van Gaal. I still don't, do I put Rob Cross? You know what, we're going to do it. What am I doing? We're going to put Rob Cross's victory the second best final. I think we're going to do it. I'm actually quite happy leaving it there. Second best final of all time in the last, well, not of all time, but in the last 20 years inside the PDC World Championships. Next up, 2019, Michael Van Gaal versus Michael Smith. So Michael Van Gaal averaged 102.21, beat Michael Smith 7-3, who averaged 95.29. This is going to have to go in the good. Where do we put this in the good? I might put it here. Above Phil Taylor, Peter Manley, below Michael Van Gaal and Peter Wright 2014. Yeah, we'll put that one in good. It didn't blow me away. It was all right. Fair enough. Next up, the last one, which was last year's Peter Wright versus Michael Van Gaal. Peter Wright 102.73 average beat Michael Van Gaal 7-3 with a 102.88. I don't think this deserves amazing, but we'll put it in good. I think we'll put it quite high up in good as well. Let's go for there. That's my list. Let's just have a quick rundown of the order that I've listed these in. So amazing, we've gone for the 2007, then the 2018, then 2011, then 2017, and 2009. Good, we've gone 2003, 2001, 2013, 2020, 2016, 2015, 2010, 2014, 2019, 2006. In the okay, we've gone for 2002 and 2004. And in the boring, we've gone for the 2012, 2005, and 2008 World Championship Finals. That is my list, guys. If you do play along, take a screenshot, tag me on Instagram or Twitter, and I'd love to see your guys' lists. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.